Hi everybody, welcome to Shivers. We're doing a late new movie review for the newer movie, The Running Man. This is based off of a Stephen King novel. This was made into a movie back in the late 80s, early 90s, so this is a relative remake. This is directed by Edgar Wright, who has done so many other great movies like Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, Last Night in Soho, really just fantastic movie. Scott Pilgrim as well. This, like I said, is based on a Stephen King book. The book for Stephen King came out in 1982. The Long Walk, which is a movie that we saw back in the summertime, has a very similar vibe, but the Long Walk book, also based off of Stephen King, came out in 1979. So it came out a little bit before The Running Man. The Long Walk has such a special place in my heart. So The Running Man is going to get a little bit knocked because of it being kind of similar in terms of style, that dystopian horror. However, The Running Man is much more comedic, much more of like a video game lens. It's as if Ready Player One was mixed with The Hunger Games, where The Long Walk is kind of like Saw mixed with The Hunger Games. So if you haven't seen The Running Man yet, fast forward to the ending for it to be spoiler-free review. Otherwise, here we go with sort of the story. So as of right now, The Running Man has 64% on Rotten Tomatoes. This is starring Glenn Powell, who plays a man named Ben Richards. He is married to this woman named Sheila. They have a child named Kathy, and they are just struggling. Ben Richards, it is beat into our heads that he is a good person. He is standing up for people at work. He's going out of his way to be there for people. He's helping people who he shouldn't even be helping. And all along, he's kind of getting punished for it. So it is that mentality of it doesn't necessarily matter what your intentions are, but it does matter what your reputation is. And his reputation is he is insubordinate, gets fired from every job that he has, doesn't know how to listen. But in his perspective, it is he's trying to stand up for people. He's trying to be there for people. He is kind of the representative that people don't have. So the whole entire movie is based on that premise. Does it matter how you look and are you perceived, or does it matter what your actual wholehearted intentions are? So Ben Richards is struggling. His family is struggling. He can't really get a job because of that reputation. And so this city that we're in has all of these different game shows. And there's this train that takes you to the station where you're kind of applying for game show, but you're assigned to what's best for you. So the city has a game show called The Running Man, and you have to live for 30 days without being caught by hunters, and you will win $1 billion. Along the way, there are incentives. So after you last a week, you get $65,000. After you last 2, you get $80,000. All of that already in the bank account of the family. So Sheila makes Ben promise her that he will not go on The Running Man. It's too dangerous. There's too much on the line. This is not just a simple game show. Like, people are actually dying on this. So Ben has more of that mentality of go big or go home. He tries out for all of these different types of games and gets sat down in the office of the TV producer, who is basically like, you are golden. You aced every single physical test that we have. You are a physical specimen, and you have such rage that people are going to want to see. So we want you to be on The Running Man. We'll give you all this extra stuff, like just say yes. So he makes it kind of impossible for Ben to not say yes. So Ben is now on The Running Man with Tim and Jenny. Tim is played by, I'm sorry, I wrote it down, Martin Harley. He is from Please Don't Destroy, which is that comedy group that started on SNL and YouTube. But so you have a lot of elements of humor in this. You also have Jenny, who's played by Katie O'Brien. So you have that kind of like stereotypical butchy vibe as well. She's like catcalling all the strippers that are in this TV show. So you have a lot of this like almost like the Stand mentality of who's going to be called by Mother Abigail versus who's going to be called by basically the devil. So it is very poignant on the sins of all people involved. So goes to show the deeper side of it of perspectives versus reputation. So all three of them are on this show. Jenny and Tim are just having a grand old time. And Ben is like, I'm going to kill everybody that I see. I have such rage and such anger. I'm so mad that I even have to be on this show. But that's the world that we live in, so kind of game on. So right from the get-go, he's very smart. He goes to his friend who has all of this like underground stuff, kind of like a dark web bunker in a way. So he gets all of these secret things. He then starts running, and he has an opportunity to talk to his wife before he goes on his adventure. They have this family liaison to make sure that the family is going to be protected the entire time that he's in the Running Man competition, so nobody can use the family against him, and off he goes. So the entire rest of the movie is truly like hide and seek with all of these hunters. There are 5 major hunters, and they're all these trained people who this is their job. They're looking for the people on the Running Man to kill them. So when we get to the point where he is faced with the hunters for the first time, he has a lot of smarts. He has a grenade. He blows up this building, and then he hides out in these people's house who are like, we've been watching you all along. We're rooting for you. We see you as this rebellion person that we need. You know, you are the person who is speaking for our entire group of people who simply just want to be able to have medicine and food for our children, not fancy schmancy boats and clothes and houses and all of that. Like, we're in this for the right reason, and you're our advocate. So this deepens the conversation around the idea of kind of fate. Like, he's being punished everywhere else for who he is, for his anger, for his intentions. But you put somebody with those skills in the right place, they're going to thrive. It's that mentality of like, if you are somebody who is a natural born killer and you're absolutely cast out of everything for that because you're a horrible person, maybe just turn those skills into you being a hunter or working at a slaughterhouse. I'm not saying it's ethical or it's right, but it's that simple mentality of take your skills that you have and go where they work and go where they're appreciated, and stop trying to fight against what you're naturally good at. So he is naturally good at leading all of these people, really starting a rebellion, and all of these people see that, and he doesn't really want that. He's like, I'm just in this to get supplies for my sick child, and that's that. So you can't really pick how you influence other people's lives. So they're really cheering for him. He has all of that footage of the actual building being blown up, and he's also required every single day to send in a video submission of his, it's kind of like a journal log. So he sends in this submission, you know, I got rid of all your goons, haha, and they completely spin that on TV. And they have this candle ceremony for all of these children who supposedly lost their parents in that explosion, and they edit his video so that it looks like he's like, oh, screw your family, screw your moms and dads, they try to come after me, but I'm gonna win. So every single thing is being spun. Every single thing that he is saying, all of his intentions, it doesn't matter what message he's even trying to put out there, it's all completely being spun. So now it's this mentality of, I don't want to play the game anymore, I want to break the game. So all along we have this message of following the rules, especially from the TV heads, like, just make good TV and you will get your payout. So he sees that all of this is rigged and this is all just a game. It is very much a they live situation and mentality where everything that all these other people are seeing on the news, they're taking as gospel, but we're seeing it from the background of this is all fake and this is all staged. Everything is a fake story that we're spinning. So it's really cool to see that. I mean, I absolutely love that genre of movie and storytelling in general, but being able to see that for a movie like this is really unique. So we continue moving through the Running Man. We get to the very end, and the TV producer lies to Ben and shows him this fake video of his family being slaughtered by the hunters who got away, and they broke through the family liaison and killed your family. So sorry, but now you have to kind of be our army person. So you're going to sign on with us to have your own TV show, right? Because our ratings have never been so high. So it's manipulation at the extent of just completely destroying people and who they are. along the way, Jenny gets got, Tim gets got. So these people who think that it is really just a game, there are actual consequences. So now we're at the very grand finale. We see all of this. Ben gets into multiple fights with all of these different goons and then ends very similarly to The Long Walk and makes a statement really just like on TV, kind of like a Joker moment, if you will. So I'll just let you use your imagination there. But it causes truly like an uprising and all of these people to wake up and see that this is fake and this is not real. And he has his moment to tell them, like, these people said they killed my family and like they're trying to use that against me. You know, what does this tell you of who you're watching and what you're consuming? So it's a very poignant movie. It makes the same points as The Long Walk. It makes the same points as all of these other dystopian horror movies, if you will. Would hardly call this a horror movie, but you get my point. So now at the very ending, we see Sheila and Kathy walking in the store and Ben Richards is standing outside, just kind of watching them from afar. It doesn't really make any sense because he has started this uprising already, so he's probably going to be safe and protected. Like, I don't know why he wouldn't go talk to his family, but he at least makes note that they're okay, they are alive, and they get a chance to see him before he kind of runs away in a way. So that's really where we leave off. So in terms of the actual rating of this movie, for the story itself, I would give it a 4 out of 5. Again, I mean, this is my jam. I love these types of movies. In terms of originality, though, I would give it a 2 because we've seen it before, and specifically because the Long Walk book came out well before that. The Long Walk book came out in 1979. The Running Man didn't come out until 1982. So we have a discrepancy in timelines. We have a discrepancy in storytelling. And that's just simply the reason why originality gets lower. But I do like this story and I like this movie. For acting, I would give it a 4 out of 5. Pretty much everybody did their job. It was a little bit over dramatic in certain situations, but everybody did their job. For production, I would give it a 5 out of 5. This is a big movie. This is a great movie to see in the movie theater. We have a lot of moving parts. We have a lot of secret Easter eggs in the background. I mean, we're in the town of Derry. We're going to visit Michael Cera's house, which is 1708. We have 234 behind this hot dog cart. So there's a lot of Stephen King alludes in this movie, which is very refreshing because this in no way, shape, or form feels like a Stephen King movie. If I didn't know that going into it, there's a 0% chance I would have guessed that. And then for scares, I would give it a 2 out of 5. Again, this is not a scary movie. You have the scary elements of this being a dystopian future and something that is very poignant for an uprising, which can be kind of scary. But I mean, I would show this movie to really anybody. There's nothing in here that would be inappropriate. So all in all, we get a 3.4 out of 5, which seems pretty low. Again, it's a little bit different because I liked this movie, but I would love this movie if The Long Walk didn't exist. And I really don't want to continue to compare movies, but because it's by the same person and released in the same year, I just sort of feel like I watched a more futuristic version of the same story, and especially with the very similar ending. So I like all the alludes. I love the idea of perspective versus reputation versus how you make people feel. The conversation between class is the biggest thing that's right in your face. You know, Ben Richards and his family are in the slums, and everything in this game show is being watched and consumed by this upper class society. Even at the end, he sort of kidnaps this girl to have her drive him so that he can kind of stay protected. And even just looking at her outfit, he's like, how much did that scarf cost you? You have a human life hanging around your neck. So an allude to a noose around her neck, which looks beautiful. On him, it would not. So very much poignant on money for medicine, money for family, money for children. So all of that is there and listed. So it's a good movie. I would recommend it. I don't know that I'm going to go out of my way to watch it again, but if you like more of a gamer sci-fi version of Long Walk, this one is going to be for you. So that is our review of The Running Man. If you have seen it, let me know what you thought. If you are looking forward to seeing it, let me know what you expect. But as always, thank you for your support. Thank you for watching. And for those of you who celebrate Spotify Wrapped Day, happy Spotify Wrapped Day.